Hello everybody, welcome back to another Dr. Zombie live stream. Tonight we're going to be playing role-playing games with my friends, and we're a bit late already. Thanks Amion for sponsoring. We're going to go ahead and jump right into it, and I will see you guys, you'll be right here. And you'll hear everybody talking in just a second.
What do you think, Ron? Do you like it?
There we go.
Drinkable.
Hello everybody, we're back. I'm ready to go. I've cracked open my Guinness. I'm ready to play games in space games, extra spacey.
Yeah, I've got my sour, got his rum and coke, Stan's got a whiskey sour, we're pretty good.
Now with 10% more space. Yep, good, excellent. Listen.
You want to recap? You can recap.
I could probably do a recap. What did happen?
Rephrase. Does anyone need a recap?
Yeah.
Okay,
go ahead.
Everyone needs a recap. So in the last time we met, you guys devised a plan. Really, the station was devising a plan, and then you guys said, no, we have a better plan. And that plan was to lure the Wrath to warping into your solar system here at Wolf Station, right on top of a bunch of nuclear weapons, nuclear mines. It went off flawlessly. The Wrath showed up, ready to eat a bunch of Feldar, who they thought would be sitting here like sitting ducks. And in fact, they ate a bunch of nuclear weapons, which caused them to turn into like a red-blue paste in space. Before you went out to scoop up all that paste, a second ship appeared, about 5 to 10 minutes after the first, and then attacked you, and all of humanity's existing spaceships armed with their basic plasma guns and one heat-guided space rocket. And with Peter Langdon's superior piloting and shooting skills, and the fact that the Wrath apparently have never had to fight anything before, you quickly tore them into bits. Peter destroyed what looked like a important green organelle inside of the Wrath spaceship, which caused them all to stop, basically act a little crazy or just stop dead once it was destroyed, seemingly cutting off the brainstem, as it were. Something we're not unfamiliar with. We've all seen things like Starship Troopers or played Star Control, not Star Control, what am I thinking of? StarCraft, with, there being sort of a hive mind at the center of these things. Once, nobody died. Nobody on any of the vessels died. The Wrath were dispatched quickly and efficiently. Everything went well, and you brought a bunch of Wrath corpses and parts of their ship back to the outpost to be dissected and researched. I think that's everything that happened.
Yep, you missed. Tom had fun with numbers. Not that the rest of us know this. And the disassembly of the Wrath ships showed us that they used the bodies of their enemies to make as building materials, and we found the DNA of 5 other races tucked into their ship. Correct,
yes. Tom's character, Peter Langdon, has this weird innate ability to only make a mistake once out of every 9.86969 times.
And it's not actually gravity.
No, it is not actually gravity, although it is very close, and that might be the first thing that Peter Langdon says is, that sounds like Earth gravity. It's a auspicious number, and it certainly has become Peter's new unlucky number. Anything 9.86 or close to it, he's going to start avoiding like the plague. But he hasn't really told anybody about this, huh?
Including gravity.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah.
Yep.
So, do you want your cabin a little lighter or a little heavier?
Fortunately, the space station uses a similar gravity to Earth, but not exactly 9.8. They found a comfortable medium that doesn't get people sick, but also, is easy to maintain with the half-completed station.
Funny, your comfort is no value.
Yeah, it's really about the bottom line. he hasn't shared this information with anyone because he's got some weird premonitions about things that may be happening to him.
Yeah, it's very discomforting.
Very discomforting situations. It's throwing his whole life into the balance. Also, of course, we discovered that it appears that the Wrath are genetically a combination of several species. They seem to be taking the corpses of things that they eat or kill or whatever, and spackling them to their spaceships, their large organic spaceships that move through space. So
they're kind of like Tyranids amassing biomass from other things.
Right, exactly. Another popular space reference is Warhammer 40k to a creature that takes bodies and turns them into new things.
Mostly food.
Mostly food. It all comes back to ants. But yes, essentially, all three of these are good analogies. Big, ugly bug things that kill and eat indiscriminately and then use that to make more big, ugly bug things. So that's where we're at right now. Does anyone...
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I had a question that came up in my head. Do we know if the Wrath were able to do any sort of communication outbound? Were there any signals from the Wrath ships detected?
The station was scanning for those types of things and did not detect anything. However, they don't know much about the Wrath, and the Feldar are of almost no help whatsoever as well. So it's potentially possible, but it was nothing that you could detect.
Okay. My concern is that it isn't so much that they are defenseless. They just were expecting Feldar, which don't put up a fight.
Right.
And next time we meet them, we're going to meet something that actually will put up a fight.
That actually says, hey, there's something dangerous out here, and we need to take good care of that. It's possible. Anyone else have anything they want to cover before we start time, essentially, before we start kicking off events?
Am I getting my pilot back?
Peter Langdon?
Yes.
In what form? So Peter is currently assigned to that Feldar spaceship.
So the answer is no, and I'll be keeping Mrs. Haley around then.
Yes, on the Nero at least. Your position is sort of in flux right now. You're not directly responsible for the Nero, because you've been sort of reassigned to several different tasks bureaucratically.
I was assigned to the jump gate that blew up, and assigned to building the jump gate,
Right.
And then I got assigned to the Project Arcbound, which worked because it blew up the aliens.
Right, and now that the Arcbound project is over, essentially, because the whole point was blow up the aliens and then make sure that we recover their bodies for research. That project is done. Success. Great. Looks good on your resume. And you're reassigned to temporary duties within the station. Yeah, paperwork.
Hey, Ron,
Hey, Stan.
you completed a project without anyone dying.
No. Many people died. Just on the corporate worksheets, it's the right people who died. And this time, I don't feel bad.
They were all bad. Yes, but they were all bad.
Actually, it's probably just one person died. Well, no, two. Sorry, two people died.
Two different
Of the
ships.
bad kind.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I think we're good.
Okay. Yeah, the Nero is currently reassigned to some other pilot for regular cargo duties to and from the jump gate. Peter Langdon is still assigned to pilot, manage, and oversee the vessel that he's on. I think it's called the Harmony.
And when the paperwork gets to me from Chief Engineer Jeffries about having Jim's character transferred over to work with Tom, I will sign off on it.
Okay.
Oh, actually, yes, the second ship is the Dawn.
I just have Dawn and Harmony.
No, I'm sorry. Dawn is Peter's ship. My bad. Dawn and Harmony. So Dawn is Peter's ship, and Harmony is the second one, the one that you guys found in the wreckage many years ago. I'm just typing that down so I don't lose it again.
Write that down, will you?
I jot down the name of every NPC that gets mentioned in case they're important.
And I'll forget them immediately, and you could read them back to me.
Hooray!
Steve, the janitor. No, he's not important. Okay. Anyone else with anything they'd like to cover before we kick off?
Well, Steve is important to Steve.
Steve,
I'm good.
But is Steve important to anyone who's important?
1 month from
No.
retirement.
When during the big flight and everything else like this, did I have one of the aliens with me, or was I soloing the ship?
One of the aliens was with you.
Okay.
Grebe.
What was their reaction when the rat went kablooey?
They were ecstatic. As I recall, I did one of these clapping things. Very excited. You know, this is a whole new experience to them. They've before only their greatest success was to run away from the wrath and hope that they did not get eaten on the way. To actually see one explode brought them great joy, because they are not one with the fruit. They do not feel the pain of the wrath. Yeah, they don't even seem to have any regret about it. After, you know, many years, perhaps even a decade of being hunted through space, the quite peaceful and pacifist Feldar don't really seem to give a shit that a bunch of Wrath just died horribly to nuclear weapons. They had it coming, damn it.
That's right, damn it.
Yes, we're glad we didn't have to do it, but gosh darn it, that sure was great.
Well, I've had a dumb thought, but it has to require another meeting.
Okay. So you've all returned to the station. Cargo is being hauled around. Somebody's pushing like a shopping cart, essentially, with a large, dead, bloody spider thing in it, up to the elevator where it's going up to biology. And it's like not at all being correctly contained. Like, hello. But Grebe and Samael meet on the floor of Cargo Bay 3. After the ships land, they walk up to each other and they give each other a large hug. They just embrace each other for a minute and jump up and down a little bit. And then they turn to you and they're like, "This was a great success. When will we destroy the rest of the Wrath?" "We expect it will be soon. It is easy for you."
It is good to have wands.
Yeah.
Am I there?
Depends on how many Wrath there are.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'd say if I was there. How many rats are there?
You probably aren't there because you're on the Nero at the moment, which has longer docking protocols than these quick scout ships.
He also gets there faster.
Yep. Go ahead.
Well, we don't even know where the Wrath homeworld is, even if we did decide that we were going to do something terrible to it.
Yes, this is unfortunate. We do not know where they are, but we know many places that they have killed us, and we can return to any of them. We would greatly like to see them removed from our homeworld.
You think there's... No, I'm not there.
Yeah, we're not. Most of us aren't actually in that room.
No, but I'll respond with like, we're probably going to need more than what we currently have. I mean, we have 2 ships, some weapons on it. I mean, we may need a fleet to actually liberate your world.
They look at each other, and then they look at you, and then they nod. Yes, you are much better at war. We will defer to you on this.
And I don't think they'd be too happy if we nuked their home planet.
Yeah, I think that's off the menu here.
They look at each other and they converse in a quick little bit of alien language, and then they look back to you, Peter, and they go, "Then we should bring all of the Feldar here and equip their ships with more guns."
Can you reach out to all the Feldar and not alert the Wrath?
We are not sure. We do not have the equipment to create a signal. It is at your homeworld.
What about your thoughts?
We cannot think that far. Telepathy is short range.
Short range.
Can you scream to your planet?
Yes, but no.
Unfortunately, if they activate the beacon, the Feldar will be drawn to Earth. Or to Jupiter.
You mean the beacon which is already active?
Yes, but the Feldar are waiting for a proper signal.
Do the Wrath know your language?
Sorry?
Do the Wrath know your language?
The Wrath have never attempted to speak to us, only murder us.
Well, what if we were to place a beacon elsewhere that will transmit a message in your language with coordinates where they should go? Even if the Wrath track the beacon back, it's in the middle of dead space. No one's really going to be in danger, and any of your people that get the message will go where they need to go.
They talk back and forth for a moment. The only long-distance communication that we still have is basically a homing beacon, the egg. It does not transmit a message so much as a loud blip. And it's programmed to do this when it finds a suitable planet to populate with the fruit or with Feldar.
Okay.
When you sent it through hyperspace, it blipped. But the blip was not quite the same, but we came to find out why. That's when we discovered that you were doing a dangerous thing and using hyperspace travel, which is an intergalactic no-no because of the Wrath. But what is interesting to us is they did not come when we did. It must have something to do with how we tear open space and how you tear open space.
Well, then how can we contact the rest of your people?
We might need materials to build a new beacon. We have scanned this solar system, and you do not have them.
Okay.
That rare. Interesting.
Yeah, this solar system has mostly metals.
And you need blitherium.
Yeah, we need unobtainium.
MacGuffinite.
MacGuffinite, yes.
Yeah, MacGuffinite.
One of them, Samael blips, gibberish talks to Grebe, and then goes, "May we access your star charts?"
Since I am on their ship, I will connect them to as much of our network as we can, and say, "Here, Star Trek."
It's mostly a formality because you know damn well that they know how to hack into your system and send emails to everyone. But they were scolded for that, so they have not done it again.
I'm inviting you in.
So they go over to one of your consoles and start typing quickly, like someone who is an expert at your keyboards. And you know, of course, that is not what they use. They must have picked this skill up from somebody on the station. And then they bring up a graph of your solar system, Sol, and they point to the second planet from the star, Venus. This planet is rich in the material we need.
So you need ammonia.
Yes, and other things. He brings up a chemical compound on the screen that you have not seen before. It's a very, complex radioactive substance that is apparently indigenous to Venus.
MacGuffinite.
That's to be brain. Got it.
This is the MacGuffinite.
This is the stuff. Okay.
I do have chemistry,
And you're not
but
there.
I'm also still not there.
Would you like to? Oh, you're not there. Yeah,
You're not there.
it's
I
a-
might be able to identify too, but I'm not there either.
it is about this time that you guys walk into the cargo bay. People in the hallways are cheering. Apparently, the news has spread that this not only went well, it went fucking fantastic.
You did.
But you guys are all now there, and Samael is talking to Peter Langdon about a chemical compound, and Peter has gone cross-eyed. MacGuffinite, sure, whatever.
It is, but you guys will definitely hear Venus being mentioned a couple of times.
What would it be? Would it be under science?
Chemistry is perfect for this.
I don't have chemistry.
Physics would also be okay, and if you have like a general science role, you could make that.
All right, one moment.
Let me see here if I can pull open.
I only got average 3.
Okay.
And that's chemistry.
Okay.
2 under general science.
2 under general science, you know that it is a chemical compound, but you're not really sure what the fuck you're looking at. There's letters that don't make sense. Stan, chemistry, it makes sense. Like, you're looking at it and you're like, okay, I can see how these atoms would line up together. But the amount of energy that would have to be used to produce them in that format is, it's akin to nuclear fission. There's definitely something beyond humans' capabilities.
We use fusion drives, right?
Yes.
So we've already conquered fission.
Right. It's similar to, and definitely it's like the technology is not quite there to get or perhaps create that compound, but you could definitely see the links. Like, you're like, okay, this makes sense. They're looking at a radioactive isotope.
Make more sense for my 5 successes?
Sorry, what was that, Ron?
I said, did it make more sense to my 5 successes?
Is yours chemistry or a general science?
General science.
You're about the same as his specialized chemistry. You can definitely see it, and you're like, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
So we need to make the tools to make the tools. All right, how do we jumpstart this?
Yeah, and then you basically, Grebe and Samael come back around to the same thing. Well, in order to get the stuff that we need to make the beacon, we need to go to Earth and get the stuff. But Earth already has the beacon, so while we're there, we could just take the beacon. And it's like, but we don't want to draw them to Earth, we want to draw them here. And very quickly, it just starts spiraling.
Well, the problem about Earth, the Sol system would be far better for setting up manufacturing. Unless it's already run out of a lot of its materials.
So, yes, actually it would. Earth is almost entirely out of usable materials, but Jupiter Station is there because of all the materials that are around Jupiter's moons. And then also...
Right, we're basically grading the asteroid belt.
Exactly. And then farther planets haven't really been worked with. They don't really have the stuff that most money wants. Most corporations are looking for.
Right. The fact that we've now got a new material that we want to harvest on Venus, which was up until now probably ignored except for its abundance in ammonia in the atmosphere.
Right. Yeah, exactly. On the nose, Venus and Mercury have been deemed too dangerous for what they're worth. And it was actually thought, other solar systems have more wealth to exploit than our own does. And that's why you guys are
very
here.
metal.
Mm-hmm.
We're very metal-centric.
Exactly. And the Feldar are not. They're very... their spaceships use alloys that are... they use some metals in them, but it's a lot of other shit too, because their home planet was a gas giant, essentially. So they've evolved in a totally different way as far as their spacefaring goes. And of course, the Wrath have evolved in an entirely different way as well. They are purely organic.
I
But
get the idea that the Wrath are maybe not even all that intelligent. They're more a natural force.
Just, I would say more
Hungrily wandering the universe, eating things.
I think they're an unnatural force myself.
ooh, interesting.
I'm thinking there's somebody's leftover war toy or...
Yep. Yep, that's what I'm
It's
thinking
cleaning
as well.
So are we gonna have weird green tripod people?
Are they like Play-Doh or not?
Weird green tripod people? Where'd that come from?
They're the people in Heinlein's universe that spread faster than light travel. They've got their transparent spaceships. They're
The cowardly centaurs.
not centaurs. They're
Yeah, I forget what centaur
three-legged
is.
creatures. They're not the masters, who were the ones who basically elevated a shit ton of species to space travel just to use them as weapons. Sorry, derailed you at the Heinlein.
Oh no, that's fine.
I was thinking of the Star Frontier's tripod race.
Honestly, I probably should spend more time with science fiction if I'm going to be running a science fiction game.
The best part about it is you can pretty much make up your own stuff, and if it is similar to someone else's, it's like total coincidental.
There's a guy who made a ring and it's all powerful, and some other guy wants to destroy it because it's also evil. Yeah, no. I know that I'm not going to come up with any original ideas.
Everything is a derivative.
Everything's derivative. Okay. Anything you guys want to talk about before we start moving through time a bit?
Just the principal points are the beacon cannot be moved because it would set off another pulse.
That's the concern, that it would set off another pulse. It would at least bring a Feldar into the area, but with a sample size of 1, it did not bring a Wrath.
Yes, it did bring a Feldar.
Yep.
The problem is to prevent Earth from using it to sucker Feldar in without trying to kill themselves before setting up a nuclear minefield.
Yep.
Well, I'm assuming Earth's got a lot more warships that they could just...
Yeah, they probably wouldn't need necessarily a nuclear minefield. They just have to be ready for it.
Right, and they also would have a lot more access to nuclear minefields. But at the moment, that's an option, telling Earth to do all the dirty work in order to get...
Quickly tell our people that Venus is about to become valuable, get chemistry features, and then tell the Earth government that we need, say, all these gases off Venus to do something cool.
Yep, there we go. Spoken like a true MTI corporate.
That engineer guy who's been looking at the ships,
Mm-hmm.
show him the chemical composition and say, the Feldar say if they can mine Venus, they can build a lot of ships with it.
Yep. Okay.
The problem is getting the right people in the corporate bureaucracy to know, in the know, without letting our hands slip and some other corporation jumping the gun.
Right, the more people that know about it, the harder the conspiracy is to keep.
It's very successful.
Okay.
Actually, what we need to do is make a fake conspiracy. We broadcast that it's all the things that they want is on Pluto.
A dead rock.
Corporate corporations run to Pluto while we go to Venus.
Mostly iron. With the complete success of Project Artbound, the trap that lured one Wrath vessel into a nuclear explosion and a second torn apart by gunfire by Peter Langdon, the station has high hopes about its ability to deal with these spacefaring creatures. While the Feldar described them as terrifying monsters, their inability to deal with even the slightest bit of armed resistance has turned terror into euphoria. The Wrath are little more than angry dogs to be put down. A week has passed since the event, and research teams are working round the clock to dissect, identify, and genetically map the Wrath's remains. Every new breakthrough causing MTI's stock to jump, although little practical application has evolved from the findings. In layman's terms, the Wrath are a highly evolving, highly mutagenic species. No two creatures are identical, though they share many traits in common. They have small brains and few internal organs beyond the stomach. Their methods of communication are unknown, as is their ability to travel through space and through hyperspace. Without capturing one of them alive, it seems they will remain a gross, moist mystery. After a week of high alert at the station, the excitement and fear of another attack has begun to dip. Nothing is coming to get you. Another week after...
That's when they show up.
That's when they show up. Another week after that, and Devad receives an urgent email from the station commander, Reichman. Prioritize these goals for your next assignment. Pick one and have an estimate and strategy emailed to me by Monday morning.
It is probably late Sunday night, correct?
It's Thursday. It was nice of him to give you the weekend to work on it. Here are your potential priorities, and I'm going to put these in chat here, just in case you want to look at them, rather than just have me read them off to you. Oh my god, I forgot to mention that I was starting the stream with my stream. I started the stream, and some people noticed and showed up, but I didn't actually announce that I was going to do it. Whoops.
All right.
It's fine. I'm a bad streamer.
Oh well.
I'm truly terrible at it. It's not a Dr. Zombie live stream without tech support halfway through. Or at the beginning.
Oh, there you go.
Blame it on the alcohol.
So, for those watching, you have 6 potential options for things that Reichman would like you to start, basically devise a strategy and estimate for. Number 1 is investigate the planet Tau Ceti 6. As you recall, the Feldar found the ruins of some ancient civilization on that planet. Number 2, contact the Feldar in space to reconvene at Wolf Station. We've already kind of discussed that, but your job is to come up with a plan to do it. Number 3, instigate a second trap for more Wrath ships and possibly attempt to capture a ship or a live creature. Number 4, integrate Feldar hyperspace tech into one of your freighters, like the Nero. Number 5, investigate Feldar worlds, or find out where their homeworld is and go investigate that. And number 6, any optional ideas you might have to profit. MTI has apparently given you 6 months to show that the Feldar technology can be adapted for company or commercial use, i.e. to be sold.
I'm interested in actually doing some side research on the mutagenic qualities of the Wrath to see if it can be turned into some sort of medicinal purpose for regeneration of flesh, that type of thing.
Normally, it would be really tough to get your hands on it, but there is an overwhelmingly large amount of the shit that, and because they're looking really to just sort of find something that can be sold, that it actually only takes you 2 days to get the proper forms and get yourself some samples. What are you looking for specifically sample-wise?
I don't, because I don't have the information that my character would probably have.
Okay.
I'm not really sure sample-wise. I'm curious to see if their mutagenic qualities can be adapted into a serum or a material, like a bioplast or something like that can be put over wounds that would cause them to close up quicker, because they're obviously a much more fragile race, so they must have a regenerative quality to them.
So, because your actual doctoring work has slowed down significantly because of the riots and the subterfuge on the station was stopped and no one got hurt during the attack, mostly what you're dealing with is cases of space sickness or norovirus and shit like that. So you actually do have time for side research, and it's encouraged by MTI, especially if you could patent something. That would be great. So yeah, you submit your request, and what arrives in your lab 2 days after you submit it is a box full of freeze-wrapped organs that have been surgically removed from bodies of the Wrath, and several jars that are just labeled goo. Just 6 jars that say Wrath goo, and they're a purple jelly-like substance.
Okay. All right, I want to combine 4 with 1. That's what I want to do.
Okay. Well, Devad, because this email went directly to Devad. Are you consulting anyone for your for this?
As a note, Phil, my side project in the medicine field is purely mine. It's just something I'm working on in my free time.
Okay.
So if the party needs me for something, I will do it. But otherwise, I'll be working on this.
Yep. So, sorry, Ron. Are you sharing this information with your crew? Are you asking their advice?
Not instantly. Yeah, I'm scratching a couple of them off just immediately.
Okay.
Because, all right, I have no idea how to take... Yeah, a Wrath alive is neat, but since they're a hive mind, we'd have to make a ship run away, which will, leaving the Feldar to keep him alive, we have to let the ship run away. The ship running away lets everyone know where we are. Bad loop. So, yeah, some of these are just that's a bad idea.
Yep.
The profit I can already do just by, hey, we can make the following materials out of, garbage gas on Venus.
Right.
Done. Of these, integrating the hypertech onto a freighter basically does unlock 5 and 1.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, I don't know. I'd have to talk to some actual engineers who know what they're doing, because my character doesn't, about how to break the loop for tools to need tools to make tools loop to actually get in contact with Feldar. Because I thought the Feldar did have a communications method, but it caused problems when they left wherever they were leaving from. They have to drift far away from wherever they are.
They used to have a very sophisticated communications network, but it was all destroyed. And they're currently, the only thing they actually have remaining is they can detect these, beacons that they've created, these little eggs, when they're either moving through hyperspace or when they are going off saying, I found a planet, I found a gas giant that you can habitate. And then they send someone to investigate. And then once they're there, they can change the frequency of the beacon to say, it worked, show up. Basically turning it from, yellow to green. And then every Feldar ship sees that on their navigation. They say, hey, there's a green beacon, somewhere we can go to live until the Wrath somehow find us.
So having Feldar inhabit Jupiter is, not the real problem to Earth.
Right, and Jupiter apparently does not meet their criteria. Whatever they need to grow the fruit or to just survive on, Jupiter doesn't quite match.
The fact that it's gas all the way down to the bottom of a molten copper core?
Right. There's something special about the worlds that the Feldar live in. Jupiter's doesn't hit the right zone. It may have to do with that whole Goldilocks theorem. Not too cold, not too hot, but for a Feldar.
All right, so then those are my thoughts. And, trying to figure out a way to I'd like to do 2, but I don't see a way out of the tools for tools problem right now.
Mm-hmm.
So right now it's I'm going to probably want to start with 1, and then let's see. I will probably have to start bringing in people. Basically, go back to the chief of engineering to get my pilot back, so I can ask him questions, so I can ask the engineer questions, so people can intervene with the Feldar to get more answers. Yay! So yeah, I'm going to aim it for 4, so I can do 1 and 5. If 2 available. 6 I've already covered, and 3 is stupid.
Okay, so for those of you watching, to sort of sum it up, Ron said that number 1 priority is to integrate the Feldar hyperspace technology onto a freighter, so that the humans can move big ships capable of holding more people than just the 2 people that are in a Feldar scout, and then going to a planet like Tau Ceti 6, where the Feldar found the ruined civilization, or using it to warp somewhere else, maybe to help a Feldar planet or something like that.
One thing that to add on to that, we're going to need combat ships to go with anything that does a jump.
Right.
Or I should say, we need combat ships for anything to stay behind where we do a jump, because that's where the rats show up. Is when we.
I figure we leave a mine behind when we jump with an eye.
That's when we don't care about where we're leaving from.
Yeah, if we care about where we're leaving from, we just drop a mine that blows up when the Feldar show up.
Yep.
Right. The problem is right now we don't have a whole lot of nukes left.
Yeah, if I can get my jump gate back online, that'd be great, or terrifyingly bad.
The jump gate is another option. That is sort of what people are working on when they're not doing research. That jump gate is being repaired. And it's probably going to be online again in a few more weeks. While the Feldar did a lot of damage to it, most of it is still intact. And then you could use that potentially. Now, there is some concern that maybe the Wrath, having sensed something coming from this area, will notice if you use it again, but it's unknown.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on it, but we're definitely going to want to be on high. If we use the jump gate, we'll want to be on high, or the Feldar ships, we want to be on high alert because the Wrath show up after a jump.
Right.
In theory.
Right.
Which means Wolf Station needs more warships. MTI, if we get the gate up, MTI needs to send more combat capable ships.
Yeah.
Even if they'll be unmanned when they send them through, but
Yep.
having the Feldar jump tech on a
Freighter means we can move pilots.
means that we can move a lot of people very quickly. But we have to have warships available to offset when the Wraths show up. Because the Feldar ships are guaranteed to attract the Wrath. Whereas our jump gate is
Maybe
not good for organics, but it is it does appear not to attract them.
Right.
In theory.
We'll have to see.
What worries me most is nothing has gone wrong yet for at least 1.5 sessions.
Wait.
Nah.
Okay.
It's law. It should be played.
All right, so, Divad,
Yes.
you have organized these 6 things into your priorities, and you've presented a estimate and strategy for number 4, integrating Feldar hyperspace tech onto a freighter.
Yes, I've got to harass people to get this information, but I will do so.
You'll
use the right thing to abuse people if I have to.
Yep, you'll be talking to the 2 Feldar about, the possibility, after an hour or 2 of talking to them, it's feasible, but it requires some work, and you basically come up with a plan.
How about expanding? I was thinking of what do we have? How much more juice we can pour in to expand their hyperspace bubble? So we use them as the point on a bullet.
Right.
We open a hole, we push through behind them.
These are things that you discuss with Grebe and Samael and try to figure out what the most economical and also most likely not to shred one of your ships in the process. It's complex. Obviously, you're just looking for high-level stuff. The Feldar are working with the engineering team and one of the translators, one of the people who's been approved to eat fruit, who is, communicating with the Feldar and then communicating that information to the teams. And they basically tell you...
So they think.
Huh?
I said, so they think.
Right, exactly. Allegedly, we'll put it that way. And so you get the idea that it's going to take a month, but you can probably equip the Nero, which is probably the best option here at Wolf Station at the moment, with one of their hyperdrives that will let the Nero pass through. The idea of following behind one of the bubbles that is created by the Feldar ships, while it turns out that Grebe and Samael don't think it's going to work. Just the way their technology works, they don't think that's going to work properly. They said it's going to be much more feasible to build one of their hyperdrives on your ship, or really grab the one that's in the Harmony and repurpose it for the Nero.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Can we really build them from scratch, or do we scavenge?
In order to build one from scratch, you'll need certain materials. And those materials are not unique to Venus. They just thought that it would be the most convenient. There are other solar systems in the area that have what they need, many of which the Feldar had traveled to prior to being invaded.
So there'll be some wrath hanging out.
Possibly. Okay, so you send off that email and close your laptop and look at the clock on the wall, and it's 6 p.m. on a Sunday night by the time you've completed all of this shit, and you're like, great, I've got the night to relax. before I have to start all this shit Monday morning.
Full decompression in 5, 4.
Yep.
I will go looking for a problem because I'm expecting.
You're gonna go looking for more problems. Okay. Fast forwarding a little bit, you get through a few preliminary meetings, and estimates become timelines, and timelines become events, and before you know it, a month has passed by, and the Nero is now outfitted with a Feldar version of a hyperdrive. There have been many corners cut and changes done, but the impulse drive that the Nero has, and the subspace drive that you guys were using that took 5 years to travel between Jupiter and here, is now replaced, upgraded. And Divad, you've been put in charge of that project with the ability, of course, to pick your crew. I'm not going to suggest you're picking anyone except for these guys. So they're on your list.
Yes.
And too many more people won't be needed. So it's the 4 of you.
I'll have to go exploring.
I might actually steal either O'Hara or the other chick. Just somebody combat capable, unlikely necessary.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like Tom is fairly. I can read for his name now. Up to get character names.
You mean Jake?
Jax.
Yeah.
You're referring to Jax?
I'm trying to remember Tom's character's name.
Oh, Peter Langdon.
Peter Langdon. Yeah. Peter apparently was like surprisingly. Oh, you're actually not just an excellent pilot. He's a decent gunner.
Yep.
Multiple.
Not really. He was firing straight. He was pointing the spacecraft and hitting shoot.
If it works, it works. Better than I can do. So, yeah, pulling the PCs and the NPC, which looks useful. There won't be many.
Yeah, you can, in addition to the 4, you are allowed to take 2 NPCs from the station that fulfill essentially one major role. Anything that you think will be useful in...
What's really useful depends on what corporate wants us to do. If we're headed out to, say, the Feldar homeworld, I'm going to need to shoot a lot of junk to clear the space, and then we're going to need to grab as much of that Feldar special materials as possible, which means I'm going to need a Feldar or a scientist to identify it.
Right.
World, how do I keep Jay Kara off the ship?
Yeah. So Jay Kara, Jessica, is not going to be coming with you. She does not want to be launched into a situation in which she might have to fight for her life. She is a scientist.
Wow, a rational individual.
There are some scientists who would be willing to volunteer for the mission, even though volunteer is strictly not the word. Jessica has some pull within the station, but you could simply say, you're on the ship now, and they go, okay, boss, damn it. You're looking for a Marine, someone who could fight, and then you're looking for someone who can...
Interpret all the data the Feldar give me, because the Feldar are too valuable to take with us.
Well, I was going to say, you could take a Feldar. That would be an option.
Let me take a Feldar. I'll take a Feldar. Which one is our pilot more comfortable with?
Actually, either one's perfectly fine.
They're practically identical.
Would they be willing to separate those? The question.
Yes.
That's what you got them.
They believe that this is of the utmost importance to the survival of their species, and they are willing to leave one here to act as a liaison while the other goes with you on this expedition. So you get Grebe.
Grebe.
Yep. So Grebe, and you'll also get a Marine. It won't be Jax. Jax is higher ranking here, so he doesn't qualify for one that you could pull. But you can get a named NPC Marine who basically has skill in shooting assault rifles, and other minor skills.
Like marching and saluting.
They have more skills than that. Come on.
Well, that is the one main thing.
The whole thing.
Don't forget about griping. Griping's a primary skill for any
Ron,
soldier.
Yes?
Marines, they're not Army. Army digs holes. Marines just charge over them.
So what I've actually hired is a red shirt. In fact, I should label it.
Yes, but you've hired a red shirt that can fire a gun.
So can stormtroopers. That doesn't mean they do a lot.
Doing is one thing, hitting is another.
All right, your crew now includes Grebe, the Feldar alien, and Mark Jones, the Marine with some shooting skill.
I'm gonna want to set up. If we're on the Nero, I'm gonna want to set up a lab, an actual lab, so I can do work while we're fucking about.
Do you want to take all of your new freeze-dried gizzards with you as well?
Actually, yes, because if we have to pretend to be a Feldar, if we have to pretend to be a Raz ship, it might be necessary.
I don't think you could get enough gizzards to smear all over the Nero.
Yeah, that's not gonna work.
Both of those Wrath ships were bigger than the Nero is. However, most of those organelles have either been blown up into jelly bits or have been distributed throughout the station at this point.
I figured most of it's in a rapidly expanding circle in space, but that's not neither here nor there.
Also, if you ever mention the possibility of just smearing a bunch of their species corpses all over your ship in order to hide from them, Grebe and Samael put on comically large frowns and look very disturbed.
Can we get a weapon for the Nero?
Yes.
Nero had a weapon.
The Nero did have a weapon.
It had a railgun,
Um,
I believe,
yes.
by default. I mean, we added some extra weapons for the fight, but
That's right. We added some side-mounted stuff, didn't we?
We'll say that the Nero now has a primary railgun in the front, which it always had. And it now has two front-facing machine guns, essentially. Plasma heated lead guns that fire rapidly. They're front on like the side. Let me pull up. I'll pull up the image for those in the chat. I know you guys probably don't have them anymore, but I had that deck.
I kept my pretty deck plans.
The pretty deck plans.
No.
If you look at deck 2, living quarters, the side machine guns will be like coming out of the side of medical and near the blue square on the other side.
They don't actually have to be attached inside. They just have to be set here and aimed out.
Right, exactly. They're set there and aimed out. They can rotate in sort of a front arc. And you probably have like a small one that's mounted to the back of the ship for firing away from you while you're running away, in case things go really tits up and you're fleeing. Does that all make sense?
Sure.
Okay. So you have 4 guns in total. Your primary weapon in the front, a rail cannon.
I would like one large explosive. Doesn't have to be a nuke, but one large explosive to drop when we run away.
That one you're going to have to roll for, because we recently used up most of our best explosives in a project that you were in charge of.
Yes.
well, we can always make more. That is the joy of chemistry.
The problem is the mining operations here are mostly for metal. Finding
Build the gate.
to build the gate. Getting the explosive stuff.
We can make explosives through chemistry.
You need carbon. You need organics or carbon.
Well,
So what you're saying is we leak some of the sewer system into one of our bays and don't go there.
well, let's see if Devad can simply get enough to get a drop it and run mine.
Let's see here. We need ammonia. We need some mothballs.
What do you want? Do you want? Am I being nice about this with diplomacy? Am I trying to work the system with bureaucracy? Do I have to hack the system and just have one added to my inventory?
Let's do bureaucracy first, and if that doesn't work and you really want one, we'll do the subterfuge hacking type. To see if you can force the reassignment. It's not so much the inability to make explosives, it's the matter of, like, those resources are currently low and might be needed for other projects, therefore...
No. Before we leave here, they need to have a setup to fight whatever shows up when we bail.
Oh, that is... Yeah, they'll have something for that.
Alright, let's see. 7 dice. 3 successes on 7 dice.
Now, for your ship, no mine. But if you're talking about one to protect the outpost when you leave, yes, that's fine.
Yeah, I wanted both.
You can't get both. So
Well, I want one for them more than one for us.
Jim posts a chemical composition breakdown of a, what is that, explosive?
That's C4.
C4.
That's basically C4.
Yep. For whatever reason, one of those materials is currently not available.
Motor oil.
Motor oil. It's motor oil.
It's been out of it for centuries.
Yeah, probably all the motor oils required for all the machines in the station. Okay.
I'm gonna try the hacking just to see one shot to see if they're actually being reasonable with their denial.
Sure. Yep.
Not so much to move it, just to see if they're being reasonable. 3 out of 6. So is it? Are we actually sure, or is management being a douche?
A 3 out of 6. So with a 3, at least on the surface, it actually looks worse than they talked about.
Okay.
You get the opinion that the station might be running out of a lot of essential materials.
So we need that gate up and working.
Right. Yeah. They've redirected a lot of energy and effort into fighting the Wrath and then researching these things and all that, and like the supply ships that they've expected are running late, that type of thing. It does take years to get here. So it's not just that they're being stingy, it's that they're being stingy, and also things might go poorly if they are not stingy.
Yeah, well, no. So my computerized use of insight has said, okay, yep, we're screwed.
Yeah, not only are they saying you can't have any motor oil for your explosives, but if they run out of motor oil real soon, all the refining is going to stop because they won't have enough to keep the machines running. That's the problem. Jim with more chemistry. Okay.
So, we are now off to fly wagon train in space.
Fun stuff.
Fun stuff
Now,
indeed.
Jim, I will have to ask, are you being impressive in that you actually know the stuff, or are you just pulling it off the wiki page?
I'm just pulling it off the wiki page. I don't know that off the top of my head at all, but I bet my character does.
Probably, yeah.
You have chemistry?
I'm a master engineer. Well, I have explosives too, so.
With explosives and master engineering, yeah, he knows what needs to be mixed together. He probably doesn't call it, cephalethidine or whatever. He's probably like, oh, you need compound 182. And...
Well, there is an actual demolition skill.
Yep.
I only have 3 dice in demolitions, okay? It's my best combat skill.
Okay. Moving forward. It's been on schedule, a little bit behind schedule maybe, but that's right to schedule. But the Nero is ready for wherever you'd like to take her. And the space station is well aware that if and when you are approved to launch out of this system, they will be ready in case something else comes in. You won't know if it happens until 30 minutes to an hour later when you get messages bounced off of Jupiter Station. So it's kind of like there's going to be a time where you're like, we just left. Did everyone die? We don't know. We'll find out later.
Tune in next time.
Maybe next time. Tune in next week. So the Feldar have provided you with a list of star systems nearby that might have the radioactive materials that they could harvest using some of your mining drones or other techniques that you could use to make a beacon to then call Feldar to Wolf. They also, of course, have told you about Tau Ceti 6 and the ruins there that might hold some, long-lost technology or secrets that the Feldar never really got the chance to explore. If you want, they'll give you the location of their homeworld, so that you can go there, blow up all the Wrath that may still be lurking about, if there are any, and then tell the Feldar they can come home, in which they'll all come home, hide on their planet, and never go to space again, because fuck space.
Yeah, they really didn't enjoy the Find Out phase, did they?
Yeah, not really. Or really, you could take this thing wherever you want to try.
I was thinking, the problem with it is teleporting to Earth is a very big, showy demonstration of how awesome we are.
Yep, it is. And then potentially a huge disaster if you ever try to leave.
Yes, but actually the disaster is getting larger corporate to let us and the ship leave.
Yep.
Because I don't think they'd let me go. Or the ship go. They'd let me
yeah,
go.
they would want to dissect your ship and build more hyperdrives right away.
Yeah, no. Definitely not her.
We should definitely send the schematic through to them, but...
Oh, and you have. Everything that you guys have worked on has been beamed back so that they can do stuff. And you know that MTI has recently announced that it is opening new mining operations around Venus and everything else. So they're doing everything they're supposed to be doing to try to monetize your findings. But in the more immediate, you've been given sort of a
Yeah, I'm looking at getting the material. Tau Ceti 6 is neat, but it's definitely an aside.
Mhm.
And I'd like to do it. Hell, I want to do it. But the important part is actually getting enough stuff to make a proper beacon to call Feldar. And is it better to collect raw materials or try to get refined materials off their home world? I was asking my crew because the Feldar are going to go her.
Right. Grebe will sort of look at you and say, better to go to one of the other areas. There's a lot of death around the Feldar homeworld. Millions lived there. Billions lived there in that star system. And most of them were killed. And we don't know what happened after that. You could warp into an enormous skeleton wrapped in flesh.
Yeah. I was thinking the planet is now
what a lovely scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not a person. You're a brain piloting a bone mech covered in meat armor. Let's go.
Yep.
So I think we'll pick a couple of the outlying the spots that look good from the mineral survey and go about.
Okay.
And I'll ask Peter to have fun. Since this is a shakedown cruise, I want him to have some fun with it.
So
see how it handles compared to a starship. Everyone else should sit still and put away your coffee cups.
essentially, what you have is a situation where once Devad says, okay, we've chosen what we're going to do, we're going to go to this star system, find this planet that the Feldar have said has this material, and we're going to launch mining drones, dig up a couple kilos of it, and then warp back home to Wolf. Once Devad gives that order, Peter's in charge. Then he's the captain of the ship, and he's got the final say on pretty much everything else.
Now, do we still have to bother with the sleep chambers and all the other types of jets?
No.
We're now fast traveling.
Yep. Now that the hyperdrive has been installed on the Nero, allegedly, and this has never been tested because testing it could potentially release a bunch of aliens on your butt, you should simply remain awake, press a button, go to Plaid, and then arrive where you're hoping to be.
Okay.
We're not going insane.
You and Grebe will be working together to make sure that that works. And you've had plenty of experience working with Grebe driving the Feldar ship. Although you've never actually done hyperspace. Only O'Hara has done that. I need a break to fill up some water. I will be right back.
Water. Second Guinness. So, where do we go after we grab our goodie? Do we poke Tau Ceti?
Yeah, let's
Where do we
poke
get-
Tau Ceti. Why not? Just for a look.
However much of the resource we're supposed to grab, I want to get twice as much just because.
Oh shit.
You okay, Tom?
He's pumpkin.
No. Probably.
You want to call it a night?
No. I made a mistake on the semester schedule, and someone's making a fuss.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Bureaucratic politics, the worst.
All right. So the final exam for this one class is Friday the 29th. Friday the 29th of April. On the semester schedule, I wrote down Friday the 25th. All right. Got the number wrong. Got the day of the week right. So a student has already booked his flight to go home.
Oh no.
Yep. And he has gone to my boss saying, "Hey, Tom told us that the final exam was on the 25th."
He
And
said it was Friday. Obviously, you didn't look.
but that's just it. I got the number wrong, but the day of the week right. And yep.
And he didn't bother to bring it to you. He went to your
No,
boss.
no. He did come to me, and I said, "Hey, my boss said that you can't take it early." And he went to my boss, and my boss said, "Well, we're gonna have to work something out." I'm like, "Oh fuck."
Crap.
Yeah, because I fucked up. Oh well.
Is he okay? One thing you should do is immediately remind all your students of what you actually meant.
I will.
And two is your mystery guest a member of a fraternity or other obnoxious organization that would then share the information?
Oh, I don't know.
Actually, all you have to do is give him a slightly different exam.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it's time to come with another exam.
But that's part of the problem because of the fact that they want a common exam between all students. So giving him his own exam is going to be tricky. But I'll work something out.
Actually, you can do it, Tom. You can do it very simply. There are subtle differences between the exams between different professors, correct?
No.
Damn, I was hoping you just lean over and grab someone else's exam and go, "Here, you get that class."
Nope. Unfortunately, we are all doing the exact same exam, and we all have to grade it the exact same way.
Well, that's stupid.
Uh,
Bill,
Since-
that looked like water.
he said water. There's water in there.
There's water in this.
Yeah, really.
There's ice in this. It's also Jim Beam peach, so
Oh,
How is it?
so good. It's like candy with alcohol.
Wow, there's that.
Oh yeah.
So that's something which I'll have to rectify the next couple of days. Oh, fun.
I mean, at least it's math. I feel like math is kind of a constant thing. There's not a lot of like wiggle room for how you interpret somebody's answer.
Yeah, I know, but still.
It's all in the work.
Yeah.
It's just it. It's like blah.
Yeah, there's a reason that I didn't go into math as a field.
Like a D. Didn't you get like a D in calculus?
Quiet you! It was winter quarter and it was 8 a.m. I could barely get out of bed, let alone trudge through 3 feet of snow.
What is it with calculus classes at 8 a.m.?
Oh,
They want us to fail.
every class at RIT was like Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday, except math, which was Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. So whenever you wanted to bulk it all up so you get a 3-day weekend, math was the fucker in your way.
So I am now calling upon everyone who is watching this stream live to basically dump all over you for getting a D in a class that you picked at 8 a.m. in the morning, you big stupid.
I had no choice.
I probably had some choice, but not a lot. But listen, Calc 1, I gotta be in. Calc 3, I gotta be in. Calc 2 was fucking integration or whatever, the one that everyone fucking hates. Like...
And that wasn't 3. I thought that was 3 was integration.
I sucked at calculus to begin with. I got D's across the board.
Tell me I'm wrong! Everybody hates integration.
Class was available was 8 a.m. every single time.
And the rest of my math classes, like, usually I had problems with the professor. Like, I could not understand Gruber. Like...
I think I had Gruber once.
My discrete math class was the only one I had that was in the evening, and it was done in the fucking TV studio.
Yeah. You guys had problems. And then again, I was trying for a secondary... It was a second degree in math, then a minor in math, and I gave up because I couldn't pass Laplace transformations. But that's basically when I had to give up.
I majored in computer science. It was a huge mistake. Should have gone into software engineering. It was way easier, and my degree has not helped me fucking at all. I've never once needed to know how to write a bubble sort algorithm. Fuck bubble sort algorithms.
Serious. Come on.
Today, I did my work on my work laptop for actual job, and I read the code that I had that I was sending through an API. And I said, I missed not the semicolon, one of the brackets. And that's why it's throwing an error. And the person I was working with, who's like the product owner, who's like, their job is like what Devad does here, was like, how do you know that? And I was like, well, I went to college for 5 years for this shit, and I only use it once. Like...
God, what a bullshit answer.
I went to college for 5 years to do that, and I don't. I do something different, but at least I knew what I was looking at. When it was like, hey, your object is wrong, and I'm like, oh, it is. So it is. Fucking computers.
I'm the weird person who likes assembly.
I should have gone into politics.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
No.
You
Right.
would be pissing in politics.
I would be some fucking stooge, I'm sure. All right.
Well, at least you did something in your field today. I did inventory.
Are you buying parts again?
No, I'm inventorying leftover parts from the kit to see how many I have so I can use them somewhere else. My office is looks like a bomb zone.
Not enough carbon.
I use what I went to school for.
You teach it!
I use it all.
Like, 1 out of every, 50 people actually does that. Yeah, no, I should have, obviously, Tom can attest, I should have gone into business writing Hallmark cards. I mean, yeah.
I don't know. Hallmark cards are sort of dying, aren't they? Because of email?
That, Bill, you should be writing children's books.
Well, I still have to write that book about parenting. How to live a better life by not having children. 1 page. Don't have kids. That's all it says.
Oh, please.
Oprah bestseller.
If you go back in time, you'd still have your 3 kids, so don't lie.
Well, the second 2 turned out pretty good.
Your children don't ever get to archive and watch it.
Are we basically saying that you're batting 600 here?
Yeah. Look, of the 3, only the first one has been suspended from school for bullshit.
Really? What did he get suspended for? I haven't heard this much.
Bullshit, apparently.
It involved a car, fire.
Is this what we're doing for the next 30 minutes? Because I can go off for 30 minutes. Raymond,
Game's over.
my oldest child, has severe ADHD.
Yeah,
He is also 12 and believes that the best way to fit into school is to be funny. So
And he is.
Oh, he's not at all. Well, I mean, he can be, but his version of funny is what you would expect a 12-year-old boy's version of funny to be if you had no filter. So he will just get on his laptop and go to YouTube and play meme sounds really loudly during class. So I took his school laptop and installed website blockers onto it because they won't do it. I fucking will. So now he can't access fun websites from school anymore. Oh, big fucking whoop. I have to actually go check to make sure he hasn't gotten around it yet. He's pretty smart, the little asshole.
We're trying to put in web and software blockers on our computer. Well, this is before the web, but software blockers on the school computers, and it's like, okay, so yeah, that's pretty easy to bypass.
Yeah, it is. Anywhere really that does it is like a hair away from just circumventing the bullshit.
If you use the right executable blockers, you can get away with it.
That got him in school suspension, which is kind of like detention that doesn't make me have to pick him up late. The out-of-school suspension was when he made a semi-racist comment during recess.
No.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Yeah, it was bad. And then he's been moved to a different classroom because he severely offended his homeroom teacher. He's the only one that got moved, so, figure it out, dumbass.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he got in a lot of trouble. He's currently not on my shit list, but he's always just one word away from it.
You need to move him from the scatterbrain to the hyper-focused.
Yeah, well, we upped his medicine recently, and that seems to be working, at least while he's in school, so... Of course, the insurance company didn't want to pay for the new medicine. They wanted to charge me $550 a month.
How much Ritalin?
I was gonna...
72 milligrams.
Only 72? God. I eat five 100s a day.
Wow. Well, we went back to the doctor and said, the insurance company won't pay for that. So she wrote us a prescription for the one he was on, plus a smaller dosage that then made the larger dosage. And the insurance company was like, yes, we approve this. What's wrong with America? Fucking terrible.
It triggered some flag in a bureaucrat.
Yeah. Don't do it. Don't. I only have 30 minutes. I can't go on a political rant about healthcare in this country.
Yeah, well, you can. You just don't. So, anyway, about that spaceship.
Tom just went down. And that's why I can't be in politics. Ugh.
Seriously, I'm trying to
I don't know. I think you'd still do better than Guam would blow away if we put a wind farm on it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Phil. I'm just having a hard time.
Stop that!
No. Can you picture Phil sitting between AOC and Ted Cruz and just like watching the fucking sparks fly?
Nah, he'd be fueling the fire.
I would either be specifically goading them, or I would be in all sorts of memes where it's like Ted Cruz yelling, AOC yelling, me in the middle just like... This congressman from Florida does the face we're all feeling.
We've had congressmen who are afraid that islands would capsize, or islands would blow away. There was a current one who asked the Forestry Service if they could adjust the moon. That was fun. Also, Jewish lasers. I mean, just okay.
He said he's only got 30 minutes. He can't go on a political rant.
I know. So back to our spaceship, baby.
I also can't get elected because at some point in the past I've suggested that the only way to fix this country is with guns.
Yeah, I give you some votes.
Which turned out to be disturbingly accurate last January.
Really, where were you on the 6th, Phil?
Here, watching it on TV going, we're witnessing a coup. A dictator is trying to rise into power.
I don't remember seeing
Patriotic Americans!
I have proof on Facebook, sir.
Sir, this is a Wendy's.
Excuse me while I hide my blue buffalo helmet. Okay, spaceship. Ron, you decided on a random solar system that the Feldar have said contains the materials you need, but is not their home planet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hit a couple of those to grab some stuff, then maybe bounce by Tau City 6 and run home.
After about 2 hours of approvals and checklists and timetables and everything else, the Nero, which has flown out to the very edge of the solar system on its normal impulse drive, is ready to leave. And behind you is 6 station warships, or really cargo ships with guns on them, and 1 explosive mine that is not nuclear, but has pretty much all the C4 that they could scrounge together at the last minute. And you are ready to depart the system for the foreseeable future. This may take weeks to months to get everything you need before bringing it home. You don't really know.
You have enough supply for weeks to months.
You do.
Okay.
You've got a food replication device that's going to make nutrient bars, and you've got the device on your ship that converts oxygen and water from the atmosphere. You've got everything you're going to need. A lot of it is going to be like Mr. Coffee brand nutrient bars, asterisk, now with 20% more nutrients and 10% less iron flavor.
Well, it's going to suck.
Yeah, it's gonna suck.
Well, at least it's alive.
So, but like moments before you hit the hyperspace button, Grebe pulls open a little basket and he's like, "I brought some of these," and there's a handful of the purple fruit inside.
I will teeth clench, smile at him.
Oh, he's not there with you. He's in the pilot.
Yeah. He's like co-pilot.
He's co-piloting right now. So this is you're not there.
I'm so happy.
Yes, we're not telling you about the fruit that you're going to want to flush out of the airlock.
Yeah, you're probably about 10 feet away in the computer room, sealed up there, communicating with the station. And Grebe is like, I smuggled these.
Good man.
Okay, everything's ready to go. You've got Grebe, you've got Mark Jones, you've got your doctor, your engineer, and your pilot. You've got your bureaucratic guy, and you've got the all clear from Wolf Station. You may enter hyperspace for the first time. Humanity's first steps into a new beyond. Peter Langdon, you may go at your leisure.
I will get a good distance away from the station before engaging the hyperdrive, because you never can tell.
You've already done it, yep.
Yep, and then sure enough, I will. Grebe has already seen my little pre-flight ritual, so I'll go through my little pre-flight ritual 3 times before doing this. And I'm also making certain that if we have a chronometer, it does not read 986.
Okay, you delay for an extra minute just to make sure that none of the numbers are 9, 8, or 6. Or any multiple or derivative of them before you say, yeah, okay, I think I can leave now. And then you hit the button.
And then I go.
And we're going to stop there. I will provide you with the name of the star system, and I'll write up some good content for what happens when you arrive next time we meet.
It's Blither Star Pointless 4.
What was that?
I said it's Blither Star Pointless 4, also known as home.
Randomville McStarringston.
Yes.
Oh,
Starry McStarface.
Oh, please, you can just do a Google search for random planet name and you'll get something.
Captain, you have to make an inspiring, command to go into hyperspace there, Ron.
To infinity.
To infinity and beyond.
That's the origin circle. I decline.
Yes, no, I love this. This is canon. Divad is like, all right, I'll say a few words before we go. All right, everyone, it's been a good, and immediately, as soon as he starts speaking, Peter Langdon's just like, fuck it. Hits the button.
I can't even give him my D4. I can't even give him my 4 dex bonus if I don't further at it.
Everybody on the station's like, did Did the speech end? Was that? Okay.
It was a good speech. It really was. It was a wonderful speech. It was a wonderful speech. We liked it an awful lot.
And it was short. At least they'll appreciate that.
Okay. I will come back 2 weeks from now. Hold on. Let me double check on that 2 weeks from now. I may be in Rochester.
Really? Coming up here?
Nope, 3 weeks from now. I'll be in Rochester. I will try to make time to visit you, Tom. I
Awesome.
don't know exactly what the situation is, but I'm sure at some point, some night, I'll be able to say, hey, can I go visit my buddy Tom?
We should all go out to dinner or something.
Or that. That sounds good, too. I'll tell Becky about it. We're going up because her best friend Danielle had a baby, and we're going to go up and visit everybody. All the relatives, her dad, her uncle, the friends and the friend's baby, and I'm sure at some point I could say, hey, I'd like to visit some of the people I know. So we'll do that.
Cool.
I will let you know. I don't know when you're available or not available, but I'm sure we can at least meet for dinner sometime.
Are you driving up or are you flying?
We're driving.
Can you do me a favor?
Favor? It's during a 12-hour drive? What do you got?
Can you bring me up a 6-pack of that alcoholic root beer you guys have down there?
Oh, you guys don't have the, the Not Your Father's root beer?
No,
Yeah.
don't have.
Can't find it.
Really? I will try. Let me make a note in my shopping list. I literally saw one the other day at a Food Lion.
Yeah. Well, no, I went out hunting. When you mentioned it, I said, oh, that sounds good. I went out hunting and I couldn't find it anywhere.
Okay. Sure. I'll bring a bunch. And, okay. Anything you guys want to discuss before we end the stream?
Nothing
No,
comes
I'm
to
just
mind.
waiting for that shoe to drop.
So I'm assuming 2 weeks from now?
Yes, sorry.
Yeah.
I was looking up 2 weeks from now, and it looks like we're clear on the 13th.
Okay.
So I will go ahead and make a note.
Hooray.
There we go.
The
Nope.
plot has arrived where I thought it would start.
It only took
See you all in 2 weeks, if not sooner.
like 10 sessions to get there. Alrighty. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
All right. Hope
All right,
everything went
see you
well.
then.
Good
Yep.
night.
Have a good
Good
night.
night, all.
Alrighty, let me pull up the Space Bible here. So this is where I keep all of my important notes about the game. Here, of course, is a picture of the Nero. This is the ship that they are currently flying. It's got 5 decks from top to bottom, or really from left to right. It would be from bottom to top. And there's been a few modifications in the form of weapons, but that is what we're looking at right now. It is 9:42. I have a game or two that I would like to play. I don't think my wife is going to be too pissed if I go and play it. She's probably asleep already or will be sleeping soon. So we're going to go ahead and move into that after I take the dogs out to go to the bathroom. That'll allow me to end the stream, clear out the thing so I can get the webcam working and all that. If I don't come back in 15 minutes, it's because I decided just to go to bed. And I'll make a note of that in the Discord channel. I'll say, hey guys, decided to go to bed, not going to do it after stream. But if I do, we'll come back playing one of the games I've got that I'd like to show off. And yeah, so, okay guys, I will see you in 15 minutes, asterisk, or not till Friday.